Diddy's lawyer has quit.
Attorney representing Sean Diddy Combs in the trafficking case announced that he is stepping down.
One of Diddy's lawyers has elected to leave representing Diddy.
His name is Anthony Rico. He was like, under no circumstances can I continue representing Sean Diddy Combs. That makes us think like, okay, what the is about to come out in this trial? This is a lawyer who has been a part of the most massive cases in US history. And now he wants no parts with Diddy's case.
I don't know about y'all, but I find that that's not a good thing for Sean Diddy Combs, for something like that to happen. That's not a good thing. What's good is if you fire the dude. But if the dude fires you as a client, even if you got 5 other lawyers, and that was the first dude you went to when you retained the services in September, that's not a good look. I have not done anything to contribute to the guilt or innocence of Sean Diddy Combs. I don't know what the hell happened. The only thing we've done that I thought was incredibly incriminating was—
If you're a lawyer of that magnitude, you would want this on your resume. And to see that, I don't know how
Things are getting more intense in the legal situation involving Sean Diddy Combs. A surprising new detail has come out. It turns out that one of Diddy's longtime legal advisors, Anthony Rico, is no longer part of the case. This has raised many questions, and now the reason behind his decision to leave has finally been made public. Rico, who has stood by Diddy through several past issues, has chosen to step away just as things are getting more serious. His sudden departure adds more uncertainty to the already complicated case, making people wonder what might happen next.
an attorney walking away. Sometimes it's because they don't get the lead chair or one of the lead chairs. Sometimes it's because a client is lying. Sometimes it's because they believe wholeheartedly that the client is going to be guilty and they don't want to be associated with that guilt because that's a loss on their record. It could be a variety of things.
There could be many possible explanations, but the actual reason why Rico walked away might be more obvious than we think. A lot of people are saying that once he discovered everything Diddy was truly involved in, he made up his mind. According to rumors, Rico may have realized how serious the situation really was and decided that he couldn't continue any longer. Some believe he looked at all the facts and came to the conclusion that the case was beyond saving. His reported words were simple yet powerful. "I can't do anything for you. No one else can either."
Generally, an attorney will only leave a client for only like a select few reasons. One of them, if a client can't pay. That's a big one. But, well, we know Diddy can pay. For those of you that don't know, he got a lot of money. So that's probably not the reason. Another one being the lawyer might have found out that their client's crimes were much, much worse than they expected. Like so bad that they just can't morally stick with the case and they gotta go.
That explanation appears to make the most sense as to why he decided to walk away. Keep in mind, the information we have is only a small piece of the full picture. We don't know everything about what Diddy may have done, but his legal team has access to every detail, and that could be what made Rico back off. Imagine how serious the situation must be if someone like Rico, who once represented Osama bin Laden, felt it was too much. Just think about it. If even he refused to continue, then Diddy's actions must have been far worse than expected.
Damn! Because as far as we know, you and I, Diddy's crimes are terrible, but his lawyers know much more than what we know. They know how far Diddy might have went. So Anthony, Diddy's lawyer who left, might have seen something he didn't want to see and said, look, I can't even work with bro anymore.
Rico stepped away at the exact moment when Diddy needed support the most. Right now, Diddy is locked up in a jail cell in Brooklyn, far from the fame and power he used to enjoy. He's no longer in control, and things are only getting worse. At this critical point, the lawyer who was supposed to stand by him has decided to leave the case. That's a big move and definitely not something that happens for no reason. This kind of sudden exit from such an important person suggests that something serious must have happened behind closed doors, something very troubling.
The U.S. judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then.
Anthony Rico was a major figure in the legal field, famous for defending people in some of the most difficult and high-profile situations. However, based on official court records, he decided he couldn't stay involved in this particular matter. Lawyers can't simply walk away whenever they want. They must first get approval from the court. So Rico officially submitted a request explaining that he was no longer able to move forward due to the current situation. He also made it clear that Diddy still has a legal team and won't be left without representation. Still, his exit sends a strong message. When a respected and experienced attorney like Rico chooses to leave during such a sensitive time, it raises eyebrows. It makes people wonder what could be so serious that even someone with his background chose to leave. This development could hurt Diddy's defense, even if he still has other lawyers with him.
Anthony Rico announcing in court docs, under no circumstances can he continue defending the embattled rapper.
Wait a minute. Let's really think about this. When an attorney says something like, "There is absolutely no way I can continue representing this person," it's not just about having different opinions on how to handle the case. That kind of strong language usually means there's something much deeper going on. It suggests there could be a serious issue, something behind the scenes that the public doesn't know about yet. This kind of statement has caught the attention of lawyers everywhere. People in the legal world are now talking about it and trying to figure out what really happened.
Your lawyer said he can't help you. Oh, man.
I don't think this really in perspective for y'all, fam. This man's lawyer said, in no way, shape, form, or fashion can I continue to represent this man, bro. I won't be able to sleep at night. Do you know who he's represented in the past? That man, one of his previous clients, was a part of Osama bin Laden's terrorist group. Like, this brother would have been okay representing the Joker in court, but he drew the line at the diddler. Oh, that brother is guilty.
So what does this mean for Diddy? It means things just got a lot harder, like something out of a wild reality show, but even more chaotic. With Anthony Rico no longer on board, the remaining lawyers are left trying to fix everything quickly. They don't have months to figure it out either. The trial is just around the corner, scheduled for May, which is only a few weeks away. Losing such a key figure at this point puts them under a lot of pressure. And considering the heavy accusations Diddy is dealing with, replacing a top lawyer now makes their job even more challenging.
Representation, since the rapper, who's been charged with racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engagement, to which he's pleaded not guilty, will continue to be represented by 5 other attorneys on record and will not delay court proceedings.
Let's be honest, this isn't simply a case of one attorney stepping away. It points to something far more serious. There's a deeper issue hidden underneath the surface. Rico's decision to leave isn't just about not agreeing on how to handle the case. It suggests that something extremely troubling might be going on in the background. This is a man who has dealt with some of the worst crimes and darkest cases, yet even he decided he couldn't be part of this one. When someone with that much experience says no, it usually means the situation is more disturbing than we know.
He filed a motion so that he could quit, and in the motion he says, under no circumstances can I continue. Woof. Under no circumstances can I continue. This man's paying you millions of dollars. Under no circumstances can I continue.
Diddy's got to be cooked to another universe for the top lawyer on his team to say, I simply can't do this anymore. Bro actually hit him with an I'ma head out. How bad is the case? How cooked is my bro? How did the lawyer get through all of this other information with like the lotion bottles and like the Costco allegations just to drop out months later?
Diddy is now in a tough spot, trying to figure things out quickly because the trial date is approaching fast. He's likely feeling the pressure and may be extremely worried. But at the same time, he doesn't want the court process to be pushed back, since the jail he's currently in is reportedly a nightmare. Some people have even described it as one of the worst places to be locked up. On top of that, there are whispers that he's being held away from the general prison population, most likely to protect him from possible threats or dangerous situations inside.
Now at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a place that's been described as hell on earth.
What makes things even more intense is that Diddy isn't just dealing with federal charges. He's also being hit with a whole new wave of legal problems. 7 different civil lawsuits have recently been filed against him, and every single one includes major claims that could cause more damage. These cases are creating an image of someone whose previous actions are finally being brought into the spotlight. As if his situation wasn't bad enough, these civil matters could seriously interfere with how his legal team handles the criminal case. Everything is piling up fast, making it harder to plan a strong defense.
And these lawsuits just keep piling up. It seems like every single week we're talking about a new lawsuit filed against Diddy. So talk about this latest lawsuit here, the indictments and the latest accusations from former employees.
After Anthony Rico left, Mark Agnifilo, the head of Diddy's defense team, is trying to stay calm. He's experienced in handling high-profile cases, so this isn't new pressure for him. However, losing someone as important as Rico is a significant setback, making the situation even more difficult. Diddy is facing serious criminal charges and multiple civil lawsuits, each bringing its own challenges. The public is also watching closely, adding more stress. Agnifilo now has to manage these multiple legal battles while also dealing with the growing pressure, both in the courtroom and in the media, making the situation even more intense.
Despite confirming that he and lead counsel Mark Agnifilo discussed this decision, Rico did not expand further on his decision to withdraw from.
Mark Agnifilo hasn't spoken about why Rico left, but many people already have an idea. Rico, being a lawyer, understands when a situation is beyond saving. He could see the case was headed for disaster and decided to step away before it got worse. Diddy's facing some extremely serious charges, including trafficking, racketeering, and other major accusations. Defending against these kinds of charges requires a lot of time, skill, and a well-planned strategy. Losing a lawyer with Rico's experience right as the case is reaching a critical point is a huge setback. It's like getting hit in the final moments of a tough fight. Definitely not an ideal situation for Diddy or his defense team. The pressure is now on Agnifilo to figure out how to move forward without one of the key players.
By now you know that Diddy's been indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution.
Despite all the challenges, Diddy's defense team is still trying to move forward as if everything is normal. They're likely putting on a brave face for the public, but behind closed doors, there's probably a lot of panic and confusion. What's even more surprising is that this is just the beginning of the legal battles. The trial is set to begin on May 5th, and there's still a lot to sort out before then. It seems that Rico left because he believed Diddy's actions were worse than even terrorism. Stay tuned for more updates as we'll keep you informed every step of the way.